Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Peak Season Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. What's going on, Tyler?
Hey, everyone. Just ready for this part 2 of our bourbon experience. If you guys recall, we talked about my interest in creating or going down south and doing an Airbnb in that Bardstown, Frankfort, Lawrenceburg area. And today we're going to give the viewers an opportunity to kind of see what we do when we're looking at a property and how we go about underwriting it and seeing if it's a worthy of considering or not.
Yep, it's going to be a fun episode. So we are actually going to make this into a two-parter. The first episode, we are going to find some comps, look and see what kind of revenue they're doing, and validate that revenue as much as we can. So we're going to use 2 data sources to find that revenue and then to sort of establish a range. And then on our next episode, we are going to throw that all into a spreadsheet and try and underwrite what this property would actually look like and see if it's something that we might want to buy.
So without further ado, we're going to kind of go back. I'm going to screen share for our listeners that are maybe watching us on YouTube. So let me click here. And this is the property we're going to basically review, analyze, and potentially underwrite. So this is one of the houses we looked at. It's in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Again, what I love about Lawrenceburg is it's kind of the happy medium in between Frankfort and Bardstown. And when you think of bourbon and you think of some of the main distilleries like Buffalo Trace, Wild Turkey, and then going down into Bardstown, Heaven Hill, Bardstown Bourbon Company, etc., you're kind of in that happy medium place. And you're also only about 45 minutes to an hour east of downtown Louisville. Heading there for the day, hitting Old Forester, Mickner's, and maybe grabbing some nice dinner at a nice restaurant downtown, like a Brown at the Brown Hotel. If you've never had a hot brown, you need to do it. Anyways,
Let me pause you right there. What's the hot brown?
The hot brown, it's a sandwich. So it's a toasted sandwich, bread with like bacon and ham and cheese with bread on top and then cheese on it again in a skillet. It's awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said a hot brown, I was thinking maybe it was like a warm whiskey drink of some kind. So that's why I had to clarify. And then I almost opened another tab here and just went to Urban Dictionary to try to figure out what it was. But
it's actually been a bit since I've had one, so I could be mistaken on what it looks like, but I can tell you my memory of taste is it's phenomenal.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're very fond of this part of the country, Tyler. I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah.
All right.
So this property is a healthy price. It's not anything crazy at $299. They've cut it $30K in January. So it's a little over a month since they've cut the price. So I still think
it looks like it's pending now. You don't have it under contract, do you?
No. Is it pending? Where do you see pending?
Top left.
Shoot. Yeah, it is pending. All right. Well, somebody's beating us to it. Well, we're going to find out if they're going to have a worthy investment.
All right.
So newer house. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1821 square feet. Let me click on here just to kind of go through high level photos. Nice farmhouse look. Inside, it's not like the most extravagant, expensive furnishings or flooring, if you will. Like the ceiling fans could probably be redone. Obviously, need to think about adding a stove.
Stove's going to be key.
Want to be able to cook and probably a microwave. But overall, the layout's good. Bathrooms, nice, new, and clean. So I love the upstairs area. Again, you have that's probably the 4th bedroom that they're counting, right? But maybe you could do something fun with that. Exterior, decent lot. Got some trees here. So again, it's not extravagant. This isn't a property that is going to be this luxurious property, and it's not a property you're going to have 16 to 20 people at. But our goal here is it cash worthy, or is it a cash flowing investment? Would it be worthy of purchasing and adding to our portfolio?
So what I'm seeing here is we have 3 full baths. So we're probably looking at sleeping 12 guests, which is ideal. So we're looking at 2, maybe 3 families or 4 couples, something like that at least can fit into this. So that's going to push higher ADRs. I see a blank slate on the deck for some outdoor entertainment space, definitely a hot tub. And then I see just a blank slate in the rest of the property where you could go in and design it really, really well. Doesn't mean you have to spend like $50,000 designing this place, but we would definitely want to swap out fixtures, put nice window treatments in, nice rugs so the photos can really pop. But none of this is stuff that's going to make this a STR only property, really. I think that's adding a little bit of value, and maybe somebody could purchase this as a second home, or you could do a midterm or a long term rental if it didn't work out as a short term rental at that price point specifically. So if
Right.
I were actually looking to invest in this, I would actually be looking at my backup plans as far as what are long term rents in the area? Is there any demand for a midterm rental? Things like that, just so I have all my ducks in a row if short term renting it doesn't work out. But I think short term renting, from what I can tell, it would work out.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, Luke, I've kind of done that a little bit from a midterm perspective. I haven't checked specifically Lawrenceburg rules and regulations, but just to the 20 minutes east is Lexington. Lexington, pretty booming in midterm rentals, especially for nurses in the healthcare industry around that area. So maybe an opportunity there as well.
Awesome.
All right. So again, decent property. Got we got the garage space too, Luke, which we didn't talk about. I mean, with it being a one car garage, guys, I'll be very honest with you. If I'm short term renting it, I'm probably going to use that space to create a fun. Maybe that's where my speakeasy is my garage, right?
Yeah.
With some games, pool table, shuffleboard, some barrel tables, or a little bar area, something dark, moody. I'm gonna make it dark and moody to make it look like a speakeasy theme, but it can serve dual purpose as a speakeasy or a game room.
Yeah. And the cool thing about these nice, brand new, clean garages is you really don't have to change the structure or anything like that. It's probably already drywalled and things like that. So it's, we're going to keep the door on there in case we ever sell this thing as a single family home, but just paint it the right color and then put in your amenities and you're good to go.
No. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Luke, where do we want to take them next? Do we want to take them over to AirDNA and look at kind of the submarket there?
Yeah, let's check out AirDNA and see if we can find a few comps.
Okay.
Yeah. So while you're pivoting over there, whenever I am underwriting a property, I get out my handy dandy yellow notepad, my legal pad. This is only for short term rental work, by the way. And what I do is basically I go through and I establish a range. So I'm just going to start writing down properties. And actually, this one has a range of properties on it from when I was first purchasing properties. Like it's just full now of chicken scratch of underwriting properties. So it's got Smokies and Broken Bow numbers on the top page. But
Wow.
I'm looking at a range, right? So what is the low end? What's the high end? And I'm trying to fill in with other data points. And once we start looking at some listings, we'll figure out exactly what we can figure out or what we find to be good data and bad data. We'll get into that.
All right, guys. So we're here in AirDNA. And so basically I already kind of have us honed in into the submarket of Lawrenceburg. So you see here's Lexington, we got Bardstown, Louisville right here. This Frankfurt submarket includes and then captures Lawrenceburg. So just overall from a submarket score, Frankfurt's submarket is pretty darn good from the submarket score. And just so you guys can see, the submarket score reflects how an area is performing and ranges from 40 to 100, 100 being the highest possible. It's calculated by comparing each submarket, providing at least 15 listings across 5 key metrics, which are investability, rental demand, revenue, growth, and regulation. Submarket scores with a higher number of listings carry a greater weight in the overall submarket score comparison. So,
So
when we,
Tyler, you have like the premium AirDNA subscription. Do you know how much of that, if you just had the base AirDNA subscription, would we be able to see the submarket score?
yeah, you should be able to still see the submarket score. I don't think you get as much granular details as far as the filterings go. Like, so we can filter into the bedroom count, the property, the amenities, etc., right? And get real granular there. And then from there, we can look into what the ADRs are, the occupancy, etc. I don't think that the base model includes all of that, like additional details
Yeah.
through filtering.
So I have the base model, and you can do the basic filters, but you can't do super advanced filters.
Okay.
So I can filter out bedroom count, bathroom count, guest count, days available, things like that. I can see the submarket score, but I can't get into like, I believe anything more than like, I might be able to filter by hot tub, but anything more granular than that, I can't do.
Okay. Well, let's take a look.
But the lesson from that is basically you can get the base AirDNA subscription and get the data you need to underwrite a property.
And Luke, for our listeners that may be new to Air DNA or maybe they've considered it, do you know off the top of your head what the base annual base is the cost?
It's less than $20 a month.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. I forget exactly, but it's low enough to where it's fairly affordable. And there's also some free places where you can get data too, and we're going to show you one of those next. So stick around.
Yeah. All right. So again, we're looking kind of at overall score. We see investability is 97, rental demands 90, revenue growth 90, 66 on seasonality, 67 on regulation. I don't know. Some of the ones that I would say I'm more looking at is rental demand, seasonality, and regulation. Probably revenue growth obviously is important too, investability too. But rental demand at 90. It says by using a combination of annual occupancy and listing growth rates, this score shows relative travel demand in the market. High score equals high travel demand. Seasonality, I'm looking at that higher the score means that it's not as reliant on specific seasons, right? So the higher score means people are traveling there more consistently, regardless of what type of season it is. So, like Northern Michigan, our score is a little bit lower on seasonality than 66, I believe, right? Because
Right.
it's
Where
on
like a
wind.
beach market would have like a very, very low score.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So this one's not the best, but it's not terrible either. And then regulation. So this is just, high score equals low or unenforced regulation. Again, this is pretty similar with our area up in northern Michigan as well. I do know for a fact in Lawrenceburg, I think you have to get the property approved. You have to apply and pay, I think it's $50 annually, to get your permit, but it's pretty easy to do. It's just more of you got to pay that annual amount, and it's a pretty insignificant amount. But
Right. And
at
some
the end of the
regulation
day,
is probably better than no regulation because we want to be in places ideally that regulation is either never going to happen because it's so rural, or if it's not, if it's somewhere that is going to be regulated, I want to know what they are before I buy.
right? Yep, 100%. So, we're gonna kind of bring it in here. I'm gonna kind of narrow this back, or yeah, bring this a little bit closer to where we're looking at here. Again, we're gonna kind of hone in on this Lawrenceburg area, and then I'm gonna kind of go through, and I want to go in here and do the bedroom bathroom count, just to kind of filter out some of the things. So I'm gonna say at least 3 bedrooms. I mean, I don't know, Luke, how you filter these. I kind of do like 3 to 5 range because I want to
Yeah,
include.
because I like to see what is a 3 bedroom doing and what is a 5 bedroom doing if I'm
Yep.
looking at a 4 bedroom.
Yep. Exactly. Kind of the same here. Like I kind of do the 2 to 4 range because I know it's 3 baths. So I'm looking at 3 2s, 4 3s, 4 2s, 5 4s, just everything. And then we're gonna look at 10 plus, but I also am curious, kind of looking at kind of more of the 8 to 10 plus guests is kind of where
Right.
I'm filtering.
'Cause it's not a huge house, so even if you could sleep 12, you're probably normally going to be sleeping 8
Right.
or even fewer potentially.
Coming into here, I'm really looking at the entire place and I'm looking at a house. And then from here, I think you can go into the amenities, guys, but at the same time, and I'm gonna bring this out just a tad bit more. I think we can do a couple things. We can play with this before and after. Because what you can see here is, I don't know if you're looking, but this total active listings. So what I'm looking at here is right now with our very basic metrics, we have 74 total active listings. let's just add a hot tub here. A little slow. We went down to 40. So about half of the properties have a hot tub.
It's a good data point.
Yeah. We can add more here. I mean, obviously, we're going to have a fire pit. That's really about it. But I'm going to go ahead and
You
apply
don't want
those.
to exclude data from your data set that is valuable to know.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they don't have fire pit ticked on Airbnb, but they have one, then you would be excluded in the listing. So I don't like to filter it too much. I want to go in and find comps that have good data that we can believe in.
Yeah. The rest I'm not really including. I'm not including the price here. I'm not including the review ratings either. But here's kind of where we're at. And so we can view all these listings here. So again, our property is just north of Lawrenceburg. It's kind of in this Alton Station area. So I mean, we can even look at this comp, right here. We got a 4-3 sleeps 10. You want me to go ahead and click in this and then I can share this one?
Yeah, let's look real quick on the data on that. So how many reviews does it have? 54?
54.
54 reviews. Was that the top listing there? Can we see how many active nights are available? 350.
358 days.
Okay. So it's available almost all year. That's one thing that we like to see so we know
Definitely.
it's a real listing. We want to see that it has several reviews. So everything to me points to this data being accurate. If this
Yeah.
was only available for 200 days, I wouldn't even take the time to look at it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it has
we can even pull this. Well, I think if I hit view all here, we could probably look at it. But to Luke's point, like, let's say that this 182, this screams to me bad data. It's only a 4-3 sleep 16. I mean, it could be occupancy is pretty low, but it could just be that maybe the available days was 50, right? Maybe it just went live, and so it's got really high revenue during a peak season or something of that nature, demanding that ADR, and it's throwing off that data.
Sure. Yeah, but let's look at this 4-3 that sleeps 10. That looks like probably a good comp.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to open up this one. Bourbon Trail Getaway, hot tub and fire pit. I mean, that's exactly what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So the house kind of similar layout. I bet this is a garage or maybe it's the basement. Now it said one thing I noticed here. This said it had 54 reviews. That's probably a combined because we have also a Verbo. So they're on Verbo and AirDNA. Or I'm sorry, Airbnb and Verbo. So Airbnb, they got 29 reviews, top 5% of homes. We'll go
Can
through
you
the
pull up their
pictures.
calendar? That's
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
first things I like to see before I waste any more time.
yeah. So here we got the
So right here,
calendar.
I'm looking for some calendar to be booked, some to be open, showing that it's an active calendar. If the next 4 months were booked, I would close the tab right away.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Well, it looks like they
So
have it
there's a
open.
very high probability that this data that's being pushed to AirDNA is legit based on what we've seen so far for this listing.
Yeah, 100%. Agreed. So let's take a look at let's take a look at the pictures real quick just to see, what are we up against and do we feel like our property could compare to this, right? Um, living room, not my vibe, right? I think I do something a little bit different, but it's nice. It's, they said they sleep 10. So again, I'm looking, you can probably fit 4 people here, 2 to 3 people here, and some chairs. Looks like they got the TV.
But if you had told me that this was a before and after photo from the place that we were just looking at on Zillow, I would totally believe you
Yeah,
because it's just a basic blank slate living room. They went in, painted an accent wall, and brought in some funky furniture.
exactly. Yeah. A little modern vibe, here, which, is fine, right? I don't think that'd be my vibe, but I think it's interesting, right? When I think of bourbon and I think of that, I don't think of too modern, right? I think of bearded men that drink bourbon and wear cowboy.
Yeah, but
What is that?
I mean,
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. But a lot of times it might be you're trying to appeal to the women in the group that are going to be staying there while the men go out and do bourbon things
Right.
or something like that. Yeah, so maybe they actually did the research on this and they're like, hey, like we'll be the only place that has a modern vibe if we do it.
That's a good point.
So yeah,
Great point. Full kitchen. So we got a coffee pot and a Keurig, little coffee thing. Nothing crazy here, but I do like that they took the pictures. They show what they offer. It is helpful for guests to see what they're getting into. Kitchen is kind of a similar layout to I think our kitchen here. I'm just looking at my other screen to take a look at our kitchen. Our kitchen, I think, is a little bit tighter. So that's one plus here for them. They got this little island where they can, seat a couple people, but it's nothing, that drastic of a difference. Dining area, we got bedroom one here. So we got a king bed, bedroom two, we got a queen, bedroom three, a queen, bedroom four, two queens. Got it. Here we go. So backyard, definitely an AI driven right there.
it looks
This
good
is
though.
this is an AI photo. 100%. But, lighted fire pit area. You got the hot tub behind. It looks like the driveway. They just put the hot tub in front of the garage, right? But under the deck, smart move, right?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they put
I say we
another
look at
little,
another one,
yeah, put
another
another,
fire pit up there.
yeah. So
Yeah,
overall good.
so I've got one that I'm keeping notes. So we've got a 74K, and let's
Yeah.
see if
So
we
this
can
said 75.3.
75.3. Okay, so it was 75K.
Sorry, I'm just getting back to AirDNA, and I don't know why it's not showing on my screen. There we go. All right. So that's that one. These probably are going to be a little bit different here. This one's 4-3, sleeps 10. Yeah. 4-3, sleeps 10, 64 reviews, 354 days, saying 108.
Let's check it out.
We've looked at that property. So this was that one that we looked at that was active. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this property is another good comp. She's top 1%, right? Again, aesthetically, I think this place is a little bit better staged and has a little bit more vibe leading into Kentucky. You know,
it's definitely a little more unique, I
yeah,
think, and it's
100%.
not quite as much like what people are going to be having at home.
Yeah, yeah. Do
But
I
it is
think
older.
it's older? Yeah. I mean, I think this place is awesome. I love this house. Again, here's their garage. So you see the garage. They did kind of a TV gaming area. Yeah, got
So
an
the
EV
conclusion I'm
charger.
drawing from this is that I think the place we were looking at could get to be on the same level as this, but it would cost probably another ten to $20,000 in
Yeah,
high end design and making sure that you have standout amenities.
100%.
So
Yep.
I'd be trying to find, a sauna or a geodome or something where I can stand out and like really pack in the amenities, knowing that I want to get to compete with something like this.
Yeah,
Because this is a more unique house than what we have. So we have to amenitize appropriately to compete with this thing.
yeah. Agreed. I didn't do what we are supposed to do first, Luke. So let's look at the calendar here again. Yeah, she's filling up. Not a ton, but she's open.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple weekends booked in there.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, so that's 108.7 according to AirDNA.
Okay. 108.
I'm
That
gonna take a
slept
look at
10.
this. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at maybe an under one. This one's just north, right? So we got this one's at 63K. This is a 3-2, sleeps 15. Seems like
Ooh.
a bit much. 83 reviews, 315 days available. So let's take a look at it. Yeah, I can probably see why. You know,
Yeah.
not. I
Honestly,
mean,
yeah. So go ahead.
it's. I mean, I can just tell by the pictures. It just needs some updating and professional design and professional photos, and I don't have to even look much into these photos, but we will. But she's booking again. She's got some decent bookings actually.
Yeah, top
Probably
5%.
Probably on the lower end of the spectrum. If I were to guess, Luke, I'm just gonna throw it out there. She's not using a revenue management system. She's probably just using smart pricing. I'm almost like 100% positive. Um, yeah, I mean, beautiful property. It's got a lot of land. It's on the farm. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, this looks like kind of the opposite of what we would be doing with the place
Yep.
we're looking at. This is more of like a family place. It's
Yep.
got the above ground pool, it's got the farm vibe going, it sleeps a bunch of people. So you'll be cramming all the cousins in there, and they're going to be in that pool all day.
For sure. But I still like to look at that, right? Because I still think it's a good comp, right? Do I think we
Yeah,
would
and
outperform? It's 100%.
right, and if nothing else, it shows that there's demand.
Yep. You want to look at one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's look at this 2.5, sleeps 8, 104 reviews, 361 days. And this is further north, right? Oop,
So proximity is not really a thing though in this market. Like, I mean, as long as we're there, you're probably going to be
right.
driving in different directions every day doing all these tours.
Yeah,
So
you're either going right down this road to like Wild Turkey and Larrikin, or you're going north towards Buffalo Trace and Woodford, or you're going southwest down to Bardstown or west down to Louisville. Most
right,
people stay multiple days because they want to hit all those locations. So there's a day in Bardstown, there's a day in Frankfurt, there's a day in Louisville. It's
sure.
kind of that vibe.
Yeah. So again, so that's why like when we're looking at this map, we don't really it's not like when you're at looking at a place by Disney or something like that or by the
Right.
beach, you know, the location makes a big difference. But
Yep.
here, I think as long as you are in the realm, you're probably going to do okay. This is a cool place.
Cool place. Let's take a look at the calendar real quick. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. Man, look at March. March and April. And
Yeah.
May.
Never underestimate a unique A-frame.
Exactly. 100% agree, buddy. 100% agree. Yeah, top 10%. So we had a top 1, top 5, top 10. Again, which is what we would strive for as well. Just want to take a look high level. Love, they added the sauna and the hot tub. I love
Yep.
it. And it's not, I mean, guys, these little 2-person sauna or 4-person saunas you can get on Costco pretty dang cheap. So it's not like you're spending 10 grand for this thing. You're spending maybe 2 grand plus running electrical if you need to. Right. Cool vibe. I love the inside
Yeah.
again. Cool A-frame, cool
Yeah.
vibe. See,
I
this is
mean,
what I
honestly,
love.
this is going to be difficult to compete with
Yep, it is.
for that
It is.
place.
Yeah. Love this photo. Great. I was surprised that the other ones didn't have like Bourbon in them. Um,
Right?
you know. Ooh. See,
Mhm.
this is like the color I would make the garage. Just dark
Yeah, that's
moody, make
cool.
it a little speakeasy vibe. Bring in the leather chairs and, again, this is professionally staged, or
Mhm.
she's had some interior design help, or she is one, or he, whoever. Great, great property. This one's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Love it.
But it is a good data point though, because that place sleeps 8, right? And they're doing 102.
102.
So if we could sleep 12 and we're not as nice necessarily of a property or not as we don't have a vibe like they do, but if we can sleep 4 more people, can we push that kind of revenue? And it's a legitimate question. Maybe we can.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. All right. So we have a 63 as our underperformer, 103, and then 109 and a 75.
Okay. So should we pivot over to STR Insights and take a look at some of those numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me stop sharing. Hand it over to you.
Okay, share screen. All right, so this is a good way that you can get free data. I have to cut this part out because I shared the wrong tab.
That's okay.
Screen. All right, so this is the home screen on STR Insights, which is Kenny Bedwell's property. And full disclosure, I partnered with them when I was first learning how to underwrite properties, and I learned a lot that I know about this from STR Insights. So he's got a podcast, he's got a YouTube channel. It's great information. I would highly, highly recommend going and checking that out. So he has paid subscriptions, and I have paid for his subscriptions for multiple years, but I don't currently pay for his subscription. You can log in for free, and a lot of it's locked down. But one thing that's not locked down that is really good to use is this thing called Property Analyzer. So you can go to this tab, and you can actually post or copy and paste a Zillow link in there. But Tyler, can you read me the address of that place we're looking at?
Yeah, it's 1636 Alton Road, Lawrenceburg.
All right. So I'm gonna do that. And that's just to get an address. It's not really gonna look at that property at all. So you could copy and paste a Zillow link, you can put a city in there, and then you can further narrow it down over here by guests or bedrooms. So I'm just gonna put 12 guests. Here we go. Click search. And this is my first time using this for this property. But it brought up comps in the area, and you can actually put, so this is a 13-mile radius from that address, and it will actually show you a few comps. So this one's doing 70,000, ADRs 550, occupancy 37%. Click on view the listing. All right, now here's the listing that it showed me for that. Looks like it's done by a property manager, only 9 reviews. Not great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to close out of that. But that one's doing 70, this one's doing 57, 53, 46. Try and increase the radius a little bit, but it's just different data. So I went up to a 17-mile radius, and here's one doing 100. Let's view this one. I think we've looked at this one before too.
Yeah.
So this one's got like a Lux farmhouse vibe, doing 100, 134 reviews, top 5%. That's probably pretty good data. Like I said, we always want to look at the calendar first, active calendar. So 100K for a place that's a little bit nicer than ours. That's the 70K one, 58. Let's look at this one. And just from doing this a little while, I know the STR Insights typically has a little bit more conservative data than AirDNA. And for whatever reason, they're with their scraping methods or whatever, they'll always trend high, low, based on which service you're using to look at this. But the whole point is that we're going to be underwriting on a range. So we're going to have a different column in our performa for good, better, and best. And we'll get into that in the next episode. B46. So they're coming in a little bit lower, but they're saying the average revenue is 64.4.
No.
So it's definitely good data to have. And if nothing else, it sort of validates where we're at, because we saw something about 64, something in the 70s, something up around 100 that's probably a little nicer than ours. Yeah. So I do like going into that data just to sort of validate what you're seeing and not have all your eggs in one basket. And then the third place is I'll pull data as I get closer to making a purchase. Is I'll actually go subscribe to a market dashboard in Price Labs and build that out. And we've got other videos on Price Labs market dashboards.
Yeah, that's a great one. And Luke, I know we didn't share it, but I do look also, you can build out your comp set in AirDNA as well. So,
right.
They have a rentalizer. It's called Rentalizer. You can copy paste the address, put in your bed, bath, guest count, and then you can pick and choose your comp set. But I didn't even pick and choose the comp set. I just did what it spat out, and it said about 66.9. So we're looking at that 70K range on average. Again, I think we can perform a little bit more than that, but yeah, just high level. That's cool. Another avenue to use within AirDNA.
Cool. So I think we could leave it there. We've got low end, what we probably underwrite around 60.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably say around 90 for that place.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be pretty conservative.
Yeah.
But we'll take a look in the next episode what that actually is going to look like on a spreadsheet, and we will catch you on that one. Anything else before we close out, Tyler?
No, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying this as you follow along. And again, I know if our listeners, if they're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, please check us out on YouTube for these videos, because they're super helpful to kind of review and see as we're going through this and getting ready to underwrite.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one.